What's up, guys? This is Reaper Meister, and I wanted to make kind of a regular commentary today talking about the SMGs in the game. We are actually coming down to the last day of this beta here at the time of me recording this. So I figured it'd be appropriate to just kind of go over the SMGs and give a general idea of how they are, what the meta is starting to look like, what it'll change into, and just give my general consensus on things like that. Now, I did kind of do the same thing with the pistols, but this is actually like this is just me giving a 2 cents of what the meta will look like. But obviously, the two big ones that we all know about right now are Kuda, Razorback. We all know about these guns. These guns are literally probably the best ones in the game, next to the M8. But that's an assault rifle, so we're gonna leave that out of the equation. These are hands down the best SMGs. Now, the Razorback is definitely your good mid-range to long-range assault rifle. I've killed people like cross-map with this thing. It's insane. It has virtually no recoil, and with the right attachments, it becomes literally a laser. And it's great, but I have issues with it, and I will get to that in a second. Now, going back to the Kuda is a great like mid-range to long-range SMG. The fire rate's fast, but it's not insanely fast to where you can't shoot long-range. So I actually think of it a lot like an MSMC. I don't like comparing the weapons, and I know I've been doing that a lot. But it's just to give a general idea. The Kuda I compare mostly to an MSMC because it has that good close range ability. It has that good long range or mid range ability. It's not all that bad. But the Razorback, I actually take a lot of issue with this gun because this gun is probably my biggest rage inducer ever. The gun is really good at mid-range, it's really good at long-range, but what ends up happening is I end up playing it like an assault rifle because it's so bad at close range. It gets beat out by pistols, it gets beat out by almost every other SMG, and because of that, you're forced to play a little bit of a longer game. You're forced to play long-range gunfights, you're forced to play longer lanes, and what ends up happening is that you lose gunfights to ARs. So I start to think, like, what's the point of running a Razorback if I could just run an AR? Now, the only advantage the Razorback gives over other ARs is that it's a SMG, so it's very mobile. You don't have to worry about like being too slow or rotating to places because you can just rotate fairly quickly because you have full mobility. But that's just my issue with the gun. It feels a lot like the Peacekeeper. It doesn't actually feel like it, but it's the same situation where the Peacekeeper was like a mix of an AR and an SMG, which means it doesn't excel at both. It's kind of average at both. It's not a good SMG, it's not a good AR, it's right in the middle of both. Now, if you look at the Razorback, it's basically the same thing, it's just that nobody's saying it. It's not a good SMG, it's not a good AR, so why would you use it? Now, obviously, it's still going to be used because of the insane, like, mid-range combat, the insane mobility. It lets you push hills effectively and tackle longer lanes of sight without needing an AR, and that's nice sometimes. But I definitely think the Kuda outshines the Razorback if you're comparing these two. I know that isn't like the popular popular idea, I guess, but I definitely favor the Kuda over the Razorback. Now, looking at the other SMGs, the other like niche SMGs, we have our Vesper, the VMP, and the Weevil. The Weevil's kind of in a class of its own. I actually made a video specifically about the Weevil. Not about the Weevil, but I just made a live commentary with it. It's a fun gun. If it wants to be viable, it definitely needs a bit of a buff. I don't think it should be as good as like the pre-patch P90, or not P90, PDW, but it should be as good as or it should be a little bit better, I think. That's just my general idea. But if we look at the Vesper and the VMP, these things are basically like your Scorpion guns and Scorpion Evo for Black Ops 2, basically. They have insane fire rates, they don't have big clips, and they're not good at long range. They're exclusively good at close range, and that's where these things completely excel. They demolish things like the Razorback. Like I've only had a few time to play with this gun, the Vesper specifically, but it's really good at close range. It melts the Razorback, it melts the Kuda, destroys all the SMGs up close except for maybe the VMP or another Vesper. VMP, it has a similar fast rate of fire, but it seems like a watered down version of the Vesper, so I don't know what to think of it. Who knows, maybe when you get the right attachments on it, they turn into a monster. But the issue here is, of course, the long range game, and these fast firing SMGs are always really hard to balance because of the idea of a high rate of fire SMG. You want them to be really good up close, you want them to kill fast up close, but you don't want them to kill far at mid range. Because at mid range, if you have it shooting that fast and killing fast, then it's a little bit overpowered. So that's a very hard thing to balance, and I always commend Treyarch for balancing it. That's why a lot of people said the Scorpion was a little bit overpowered. In my opinion, I thought it was perfect. The Scorpion Evo was pretty much exactly what you want out of a fast-firing SMG. So I kind of want them to get the Vesper up to that. Sadly, they did nerf it in the recent weapon patch that came towards the end of the beta, which probably says that they're just going to make it weaker by the time the actual game comes out, and it's not going to be that good. Which sucks. Like, usually SMGs with fast rate of fire are either really good or really bad. They're kind of like burst weapons in that sense. But yeah, I hope they get a buff just so they can be a little bit more usable. That way we're not stuck with the Kuda and Razorback specifically. What I'm excited for is that I don't think people realize that it's totally possible for these two to be banned in like an arena match or an esports match. And that'll be cool to see what sub players gravitate towards after that. A Weevil or a Vesper, maybe even a VMP. We actually have another assault rifle that we haven't even unlocked yet, and who knows, maybe that thing is godlike. I've heard it's a MP7, but I guess we'll see. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. This is just a general consensus of my idea for the SMGs. In general, I think they're fine the way they are. They work well. And aside from that, can't wait to see when the full game comes out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys later. Peace.